All right, today we're going to take a journey, a deep dive into the wild to explore one of nature's most powerful forces, the maternal bond. We're going to uncover the incredible, the complex, and yeah, sometimes the shocking ways that motherhood plays out across the animal kingdom.
So let's just get right to the heart of it with this question. I mean, you see a mother animal tending to her young, and your first thought is probably love. But for the longest time, science has pointed to something a bit colder: instinct. Just a pre programmed drive to survive. But is it really that simple? Or is there something more going on? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out.
It's easy to think of animal motherhood as this kind of biological software. Run the program, make sure the species survives, and that's the end of the story. But when you really start to look closer, you find these behaviors that are so intricate, so dedicated, they just completely shatter that simple idea. So today, we're going to peel back those layers. Okay, our first stop on this journey is maybe the most fundamental role of any mother, the protector. This drive to defend the next generation, it's absolutely universal. But the strategies they use, oh, they are anything but.
Okay, check out this contrast, because it is fascinating. On one hand, you've got the alligator mom. She is pure, raw power, a walking, swimming security system on constant patrol, ready to violently attack anything that even looks at her nest. But then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the hornbill. Her strategy is all about passive defense. She literally seals herself inside a tree hollow with her eggs, creating this fortress of love. She becomes a willing prisoner, totally dependent on her mate to pass food through a tiny little slit. I mean, wow. Two mothers, one goal, but two wildly different game plans.
And this whole protective drive, it isn't just for the big, dramatic animals. Just look at the common earwig. Yeah, an earwig. You probably don't think of insects as being super nurturing, but this mom is a tiny titan of dedication. She doesn't just stand guard. She is constantly, meticulously licking off deadly fungal spores. She'll literally starve herself just to stay with them, and she will bravely fight off predators like spiders that are way, way bigger than she is. It's just this powerful reminder that this fierce protective urge is woven into the very fabric of life itself.
But protection, that's really just the beginning. For so many species, surviving isn't just about being defended, it's about learning. So a mother has to be more than a bodyguard. She has to be a teacher, passing down the essential knowledge you need to make it in a very dangerous world.
And see, that's the key right there. These survival skills aren't always just hardwired in. They have to be taught, they have to be learned. And that transforms motherhood from this simple act of guarding into like a long-term apprenticeship, where the lessons are literally life and death. And a mother cheetah might be the best example of this. She is a master instructor with a very clear curriculum. Her cubs don't just magically figure out how to hunt. Step 1, observe. They just watch her, learning the art of the stalk, the chase, the takedown. Step 2 is practice. She brings them live prey, but it's often weakened. This is like their lab session, a safe way to practice their moves. Then finally, step 3. They graduate and get to participate in a real hunt. It's this incredibly methodical, hands-on education in how to be a cheetah. Now, if the cheetah's training is a specialized course, then the orangutan's is a full-blown university degree. A young orangutan sticks with its mom for up to 8 years. That's one of the longest childhoods in the entire animal kingdom. And during that time, she teaches it everything: which plants are food, which are medicine, how to navigate the treetops, and, critically, how to build a new, sturdy nest high up in the canopy every single night to stay safe. This is a huge investment of her time and energy, and it really speaks to how much there is to learn. So now we come to the most extreme, the most profound expression of the maternal bond, where making sure the next generation has a future comes at the highest possible price. For this, we have to go down, deep into the cold, dark, crushing pressure of the ocean to meet a mother whose devotion is so absolute, her story is one of the most powerful examples of sacrifice in all of nature. 1,400 days. That's nearly 4 years. Just let that number sink in. A giant Pacific octopus, she lays her eggs only once in her life. And from that moment on, her entire existence narrows down to one single purpose: protecting them. She finds a safe rock face, attaches her eggs, and then she waits. And during those 4 years, she never, ever leaves. She doesn't hunt, she doesn't eat, she just slowly starves. Her only job is to gently wave her arms over the eggs, keeping them clean, giving them oxygen, and fighting off anything that gets too close. And when they're finally ready to hatch, she uses the very last ounce of her strength to gently puff them out into the water, giving them their one shot at life. And then, her job done, her body completely wasted away, she died.
It's so easy for us to look at that and just see it as this immense tragedy. But from a biological point of view, it's an incredible success. It's an evolutionary strategy that's been perfected. By pouring every last bit of her being into that one clutch of eggs, she gives them the absolute best chance to survive. Her story isn't one of failure, but of the ultimate and most successful investment. So as we start to pull all these different threads together, the protector, the teacher, the ultimate sacrifice, what we're really seeing is that this maternal bond is one of the most powerful engines driving evolution itself. So what's the big takeaway here? We've seen these incredibly diverse strategies, right? From the alligator's raw power to the Hornbill's fortress, we've seen a level of commitment that's just mind-boggling, from 8 years of nonstop teaching to 4 years of starvation. At the end of the day, all of this points to motherhood as a critical evolutionary force. It's how skills and genes get passed on, and it proves this is so much more than just simple instinct. It's a complex system of care, education, and investment.
You know, I think this quote just captures the whole thing perfectly. Every single act of mothering we've looked at today is really a kind of bet. It's a wager of the mother's own resources, her energy, her safety, and sometimes her actual life. All of it placed on the promise that her offspring will survive and carry that legacy forward.
And so that's where we'll leave it, by turning the lens back on ourselves. When you see this profound, powerful, and deeply rooted bond stretched across the entire animal kingdom, from an earwig to an octopus to an orangutan, what does that make you think about the bonds in our own lives? It's definitely something worth pondering.